What's going on, guys? It's Clutch Plays here, and as you guys can see by the title, David Fizdale is about to be fired by the Knicks front office. I did not plan on uploading a video today, especially after what happened last night, but once again we are about to fire another one of our coaches. Before I get into this whole story, last night was one of the worst Knicks losses in the history of the franchise. The fact that we made the Cleveland Cavaliers look like a championship contender is just laughable. No one played with a sense of urgency, and it seemed like we were okay with being down the entire game. We still can't make free throws to save our lives, but continually draw fouls when we drive into the paint. Also, we just let the Cavs do whatever they want on the offensive side of the ball. If Kevin Love wanted a fadeaway, we gave it to him. If Colin Sexton wanted a wide open three, he got it. We could not stop them, and then we couldn't make any shots. As a whole, the Knicks shot 36% from the field, while allowing the Cavs to shoot 43% from the field. Our offense was so stagnant, and the only time we were able to get decent shots were on fast break. I don't understand how the Knicks turned the ball over 21 times to this lackluster Cavs defense. The Knicks were down to the Cavs by 30 points at one point in front of their home crowd. Many college basketball teams could have done better than the Knicks. There was no sense of urgency when they were down, and no one tried to change this either. I could say so much more about what went wrong, but this video would be 30 minutes long. However, at the end of the game, only 10 games into the season, the Knicks front office came out and talked to the media about their frustration with this season. By the way, this is extremely rare and is basically implying that changes are on the way. Here are a few clips from this interview.
I have to acknowledge that we haven't played at the level we expected to play at. We haven't played we've seen glimpses of how we can play as a team when everything comes together, but we've got to find a way to play complete games at the level that we expect our team to play at, and that's a responsibility that we take collectively. But I also think it's important for us to communicate to our fans that we're not happy where we are right now, and we're committed to making this better.
Next, after the game, Fizdale went on to say this as well.
Yeah, we talk a lot about everything. That's the one thing. We spend a lot of time together talking about our team and where it's at and what's going on with it. So we're always in communication with each other, and none of us are happy with it. But ultimately, that falls on me as the head coach. I have to figure out a way to build some consistency with this team throughout whatever the built-in excuses may be, and against some of these other teams in play. But, you know, for perspective, well, a good friend of mine told me to never overreact to overreactors. We're 2 games from the AC. The team that's in the AC right now is 4 wins. So it's not that like, oh my God, everybody's, you know, acting like the world is coming to an end. It's not. We just have to find our consistency in our game so that we can start playing better basketball.
Now, in Fizdale's talk, he is trying to be positive, and he knows that at times this team could be good, but just isn't there yet. We all know that the Knicks are extremely inconsistent, but the thing Fizdale has yet to answer is how he will stop this inconsistency. He continually blames it on having a ton of new guys, but the Phoenix Suns also have a ton of new faces and are doing just fine. I know they have Devin Booker, but their team play is so much better. Next, earlier today, Woj dropped a massive bomb and said that Steve Mills is laying the groundwork to fire David Fizdale, but Woj also mentions that this has been going on for a long time. This does not just leak out of nowhere, rather someone inside the Knicks probably told Woj in order to let the fans and media know what's going on internally. This allows the front office to deny what happened and say that they had no clue what happened, when in all reality they do know exactly what just went down, and they don't even have to get their hands dirty. Honestly, with this information leaking out, I do not expect Fizdale to be here for much longer. I know he says otherwise, but let's just be real, he's going to be gone in a few weeks probably. If we lose to the Bulls tomorrow and the Mavs on the 14th, there is no doubt in my mind that Fizdale will be relieved of his coaching duties. In my opinion, I don't think he should be fired because he is a great developmental coach and should still be here to develop Frank, Mitch, RJ, Kevin, and Dennis the Jr. Also, this exact scenario happens every single time the Knicks underperform and someone automatically becomes the scapegoat. In this situation, it's Fizdale. We know Fizdale is not a winning coach, but he's not the main problem with the Knicks. The main problem is this guy right here, Steve Mills. Every single bad move the Knicks have made from the 2000s up to now has Steve Mills written all over it. Who signed Tim Hardaway Jr. to an awful contract? Who is a huge factor in trading away our entire future future to get Carmelo Anthony? Who helped overpay Joakim Noah and Courtney Lee? And who signed Ron Baker for $8 million with a no-trade clause? That's right, it was Steve Mills. Steve Mills has contributed to all these disastrous years with the Knicks, and every chance he gets, he will create a scapegoat to keep his job and make sure someone else loses their job instead. Phil Jackson deserved to be fired, as we all know, but Steve Mills was the first one to complain about it. I wonder why. Maybe so he could get Phil Jackson's position? The only semi-good thing that has occurred with Mills here is drafting Kristaps Porzingis, who is frankly just soft. Mills wasn't even the main factor in drafting Kristaps. Scott Perry 100% deserves to keep his job, and his drafting for the Knicks has been absolutely incredible. He should become the leader of the Knicks front office, and Mills should be fired immediately. Now that I got that out of the way, another report came out that Dolan will do anything he can possibly do to get Masai Ujiri to join the Knicks front office this summer. I think this is amazing, but then again, we have been down this road already, and Masai does not want to join the Knicks management. Dolan is willing to give him the biggest contract a front office member has ever been given, but Dolan has no clue what he's doing and is just shooting for the stars. Don't get too excited about this because honestly the odds of Masai becoming a Knick is less than 1% in my opinion. One thing to add is since the Knicks front office is talking to the media early about their frustrations, when teams are able to trade recently signed free agents on December 15th, I'd expect some major trades coming. By the end of the season, at minimum, 5 of the players on the roster will be traded or released. My overall thoughts from this are that Steve Mills is trying to do everything that he can right now to save his job. He's going to try and trash Fizdale's name and sell to Dolan why exactly Fizz is the only problem with the Knicks right now. Dolan is probably going to buy it, knowing how stupid he is. So sadly, Fizz is going to be painted as the bad guy. The two main pieces that have been here since the 2000s are Steve Mills and James Dolan, which has resulted into the most popular NBA team becoming the worst team in the NBA in this time frame. Fizz will probably be fired by the end of the month if a miracle doesn't occur, and Keith Smart will probably take over as the interim head coach. Yes, the same Keith Smart who ruined Dennis Smith Jr.'s jump shot over the summer. I don't like the direction that Mills seems to be taking the Knicks, and if his plan is to build through the draft, keeping Fizz would probably be the move. Maybe there's something that we just don't know about it, but even if we do get a new coach, it's not going to propel us into a playoff spot like Steve Mills is probably telling Dolan right this second. What do you guys think about this whole situation? Because I am upset and believe Fizz is being blamed way too much here. Do you think Mills deserves to be fired or not? This has been a very eventful day. Now I'm out and peace!